guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be focusing on harvesting tomatoes and peppers, but I wanted to start here in the raised bed garden because I would like to give you an update on the things we just recently planted. Some of the seeds are up, some of them aren't, most of them aren't, but there are a few that are popping through. Okay, right here in the entryway, we planted zinnias in the pots. Look at all of those sweet green sprouts. I'm so excited about it. Same goes for this side. This side I need to add a little bit more drip to, but it doesn't seem to like bother the seeds, even the ones on the drier edges. They're popping up, which means there should be some up in the center container. Yep, look at those. I cannot remember what variety these are, except for that they stay a lot smaller than traditional zinnias. Here are the Lilliput zinnias. And then one of our cucumbers, look at this. It's about ready to pop through, which means we should be seeing possibly, nope, no activity yet on this cucumber. We've got carrots here, which usually take the longest to germinate. We've got a couple of Jacoby little pumpkins. Don't see any action on those yet. Or on our peas. Nope, there's some life. That means the others will, oh, right there. These will be up real soon. Look at you two getting along. Just a little bit of activity on the beans so far, a couple of them. Anyway, it's only been a few days. I knew that some of them would just explode with the heat we've been having, so I wanted to give you a little update. We've got baskets, harvest baskets, we've got snips, we've got some fertilizer we're gonna be side dressing our plants with today. So let's head out to the cut flower garden and start in. It's feeling a little warm already. It's supposed to get up to 104 today. So I just showed you this whole space, I think in yesterday's video. I showed you how much these tomatoes have grown, thinking that if I just planted 6 tomatoes, I would keep on top of the pruning, which I clearly have not. I'm gonna do a little bit of pruning today, just so I can get around these plants, which means I might forfeit a few fruit, but honestly, whenever I let my tomatoes just do this, I seem to get the most amount of production. But what I need to do is give them all like 10-foot spacing and then just let them go to town. Need to remember that, jeez. But if we look in here, you can see we've got a ton of fruit to pick. A lot of it seems to be concentrated down below. I haven't seen any Black Widow activity in this part of the garden. It was a huge concern last year because I found so many Black Widows in our peppers and tomatoes out there in the dirt lands. That's where we planted everything. I've never really seen Black Widow activity in our plants in this space, only in the irrigation boxes typically. So out there, there just must have been a higher concentration. I'm still gonna be careful. I'm gonna wear gloves while I'm doing this just because, yeah, just in case. My goodness. I'm so excited to get in here and see what we've got. I don't think any of the heirlooms are ready yet, but we'll get some super fantastics and definitely some cherry tomatoes. All right. You know what I don't have is my kneeling pad. I'm gonna have to go get it. Then we're just gonna start in. Okay, plant number 3, that was our take off of that one. And I figured out that the first one we harvested are big beef. The next 2 are super fantastics, as is this one. Gotta do a little pruning on this one first. What's up? They're in the garage, curing. I'll reach over there. Do you want to take them right now? Yeah. Do you want the green still attached? Yeah. Okay, these are Walla Wallas. These are candies. Doesn't matter.
I don't care. I can take split ones.
No.
Onions and onions.
Do you want any Walla Wallas or just all candies?
Well,
Does
it doesn't matter.
to
I
you?
think they're both the same.
Yeah, I do too. I can't tell a difference. They stored the same for me.
I actually thought the candies might have stored a little better for me.
Really?
Yeah. Boy, there's some boomers in that barn.
Ugh.
Wow.
Well, this is only about a third, so I'll have
kidding
way
me?
more. Yeah. Whoopsie. Okay, tomatoes are harvested. We got quite a number of sun sugar cherry tomatoes, which we've been harvesting these for quite a long time. They are so prolific and a lot earlier, of course, than our bigger tomatoes here. These are all super fantastic. Oh my gosh. Look at how gorgeous these are. Now, they do split a little bit because of our watering. Well, I don't know if it's our watering as much as it is the couple of rainstorms that we had come through there. Most of the time you get tomato splitting when there's fluctuations in water. And this area gets water every other day, the whole rose garden quadrant. So it's very consistent, but we've had a few rainstorms come through, like gully washer type rainstorms that have given a ton of water all at one time. And when your tomatoes are not used to that, oftentimes they will start to split. So that could be what's going on there, but it doesn't ruin the tomato. We can just cut that part out and eat the rest, and they are gorgeous. So happy with these. These are also super fantastics here, and then the big beef right here. I had to take a break about halfway through. My dad came with some of their baskets, and he loaded them up with onions to take to their root cellar. Our onion crop always tends to be a little bit, well, I plant way more than they do anyway, but ours tend to bulb up a little bit more. I don't know what the difference is. Sometimes, it's weird. Sometimes the things that I do really well with, there's a hummingbird. Is it a hummingbird or a butterfly? It's a butterfly. Anyway, oftentimes the things that we do really well with here, they struggle with out there. The things that they do amazing with, we struggle with here. We're only 10 miles apart. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go pop the tomatoes in the shade of the flower shed because our next project is right over there. That's where our peppers are. I need to go dump all of the tomato branches, but you can now access all the tomato plants, which is nice. I didn't cut all of the branches because there's a ton of tomatoes under here. I just made sure that they were away from the grass, and we can now kind of walk through as well. Check the size of this one out. This is a pineapple heirloom tomato right here, and it's enormous. I cannot wait. And it's loaded up. It's got a ton of fruit in there, but we're a little ways off from some ripe fruit on that one, but we got tomatoes off of every other plant. Okay, these need to ride here. We've also got some more onions that are ready to be harvested, so we'll take care of that today as well. Okay, there they are for now. And our peppers are the next project. You can see our poor corn got beaten down in the last storm, some of it, and some of it is very tall. But this is what we're after. We've got jalapenos, we've got bell peppers, yes. And we've got a basket. From 2 pepper plants, you guys. Isn't that amazing? These 2 right here, these are jalafuegos, and they're just a wonderful hot pepper. Might be the biggest one yet. Nope, this one. Holy moly. Look at that onion. Well, this was a successful harvest day. Look at all of these beautiful onions. So we've got candies here. There's a little section of Walla Wallas, and then some of the yellow sweet Spanish Utahs were ready to be harvested today as well. We still have a few out here. So the little section of Walla Wallas, the rest of this row, they're all candies. And then the front part of the next row are Walla Wallas up to here. So all of those. And then the rest of the yellow sweet Spanish right here. I could probably harvest all of these today. We're close enough. I bet you these are gonna all flop within the next day or two. I explained this in our first onion harvest video, but this is what I look for. When the neck gets squishy and flops over, that means they're ready to come out. So that's what all of these were doing today. Worked out quite perfectly. Even got a little help from Samantha there. She loved pulling them out. And it was perfect that my dad came and picked some up because that freed up just a little bit of space on that table in the barn where we can put these. We'll go take these in there in just a second. Before we head in there, I'll show you the peppers, but I also want to get things fertilized. I'm going to put some tomato tone on the tomatoes and garden tone on the peppers, just to give them a little extra boost for the rest of the season. But real quick, here's what we ended up with for peppers. Aren't they gorgeous? So all the Jalafuegos here, and then we've got a whole bunch of Keystone Giants. None of the yellow bells were ready yet. We've got a couple reds, they weren't ready yet. Actually, wait, I think one red was ready. Yeah, you can see it down in there, it's a little one. We've already been able to harvest several bell peppers already this season, and they're nice. They're thick-walled, you can tell right away if a pepper is going to be thick-walled. This one's super sturdy. There have been years where I've grown them and they've been kind of flimsy and thin-walled. To get the thick-walled peppers, I think the key is one, consistency in watering. Having these on drip system, I think that that's when I saw kind of the turnaround in the quality of my produce. When we were down in the townhouse, I don't think, did I have those on drip? I don't think I did, at least for the first little bit in our raised beds, and I always had thin-walled peppers. Also, they got a little bit of shade during the day, and these don't. These get full-on sun, a lot of heat, and proper feed. You know, we amend the bed before we plant. We do the Land and Sea compost, Biotone starter fertilizer before we plant any new crop, and I really feel like that keeps them going. And then I do like to do a mid-season feed, which at this point, beginning of August, is really, it's truly about mid-season for the peppers. We have another couple of months with those left. So let's just apply a little side dress of fertilizer on the peppers and the tomatoes. All right, here in the barn, you can see our first crop of onions that we harvested, many of which are ready to go into the root cellar. Anything that still has green in its stems, we're gonna leave out to dry, but you know it's ready when the stalks have died back, like they're all crispy and dead looking. All the excess soil has dried, and you wanna be careful not to clean too many of the wrappers off the onion because that'll just shorten the shelf life, but any like bigger clumps of soil I like to remove. I also come in with pruners, cut the roots off, kind of just like garlic. Cut the stem off like that, and then down it goes. I need to relabel this basket. So another one here, tops cut, roots are cut. This one is not very dirty. So into the basket. So I'm gonna clean up the rest of these and get what we can into storage, then we'll get the new ones laid out. 2.7 pounds. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. I've got all of our new onions laid out. Not as thin as I would maybe like for them to be, but they'll do fine drying out just because we've got them up on this table that's got the hardware cloth. So a lot of air gets underneath as well as, of course on top. But aren't they beautiful? We've got Walla Wallas, yellow sweet Spanish, and candies. And I've got one basket that are going to be labeled eat these first because I just didn't feel like the wrapper was very good right here. So I feel like storage life wouldn't be super high on this one. This one had a little bit of damage to the side. These two were attached together, and so there isn't a wrapper around the interior part. So we'll go through these first. And here are the rest of the onions. Oh my gosh, it feels good in here. Ooh, it's 38 degrees in this room right now, and it's over 100 outside. Anyway, we've got a mounding full basket of candies, which when we clean the rest of them, we'll probably fill 2 more baskets. And what we like to do is set these boards over the top, and then I can stack the baskets. So I usually can't have them overflowing like this, so I'll have to take some of these out. That's kind of what we do to maximize space in here, because this room is only, I want to say it was 6 by 9. 9 feet by 6 feet. And Paul built these shelves in here this last winter, which have been so nice. And he did it in a way that we could do 2 layers of these bulb crates and 1 layer on the bottom, of course. But it really is helpful because now instead of having stacks like this from floor all the way to ceiling, it's incredibly hard to access the bottom ones. You have to lift every single one off to access the bottom. So now if we need to access this one, we only have to take 1 crate off. So it's so handy. And we can stack them a lot taller than we were able to before. See this right here. Right now we've got bulbs in here. The tulips and daffs from the cut flower garden. We've got our garlic. And then of course our onions. Soon to be potatoes as well. And I think I'm gonna take this one out to my dad. I think he needs to have this huge onion. Anyway, guys, that is gonna be it for today's video for this over 100-degree day. Wonderful to get out and get these things harvested for now. We'll have more harvesting to do as the season progresses, but it's just such a fun time of year. I really feel like I need to get out and do berries again. I need to harvest strawberries and blackberries because they're looking pretty thick. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one.